Frank, how are you doing?
Good,
I'm
nice to meet
Grayson.
you.
Nice to
Thanks
meet you
for
as well.
inviting me up here.
Of course, we're happy to have you. So, my first question for you, you're the president of Vianova. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about, elevator pitch? What is Vianova? Why did you start Vianova?
Okay, well, first, Vianova is a strategic planning, meeting, and company retreat facilitation company,
Hmm.
and we're based in San Diego. So I work with companies, nonprofits, professional associations, and also schools. So we really help, um, bring people together to, like, for example, strategic planning, developing, strategic plans. We also facilitate any kind of meeting or offsite retreat.
Okay.
So that's what we do. And I started my company in 2005, and it was after a long career with American Express in the travel industry. And that's where I really got involved in corporate social responsibility
Hmm.
and felt like, okay, this is something that I want to be more involved in.
Right.
And I actually did help American Express with a lot of community give back activities and so on and so forth.
Hmm.
So I really enjoyed that. So when I left the company, I wanted to start a business that helped kind of more small and mid-sized companies
Hmm.
operate more responsibly,
Right.
and that's kind of how it started. So
So, how is becoming a B Corp? How is that kind of important, and how did that relate to your mission when you started? Why did you become a B Corp in line with your mission?
Well, actually, it's interesting. I found out about the B Corp certification in 2007 or 2006 or 2000, 2007. And it's interesting. A colleague emailed it to me and she's like, this is right up your alley. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
Hmm.
So when I dug a little deeper and learned a little bit more about the certification, I discovered there was no certification
Hmm.
for sustainable business. There was
Right.
for products and so on and so forth. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. It actually addressed a couple of my concerns. One, it gave us a framework
Hmm.
on what it means to be a responsible business and how do
Right.
we evaluate our business or evaluate other businesses against these standards.
Mm.
But it also helped separate the pretenders from those who are actually doing good.
Mm.
So if you have that seal of approval that's been granted by a third party, neutral third party, that says a lot.
Right.
So for me, being an overachiever, and I worked for American Express, which is a great brand. I'm like, okay, I want my business to stand out,
Right.
and I want it to be authentic, and I want it to be, yeah, I wanted to be better than other businesses. So I
Right.
kind of felt like it really aligned with my business. So that was for my business, but then also for the organizations that I work with, it helped me provide a framework for them
Hmm.
as well. So it helped me not only with running my business, but also helped me in really helping my clients actually be
Right.
more responsible. Now, one thing that I want to say about that is back when I first started my business, when I told people that I really wanted to help businesses be more, responsible, and people would pat me on the head. No, that's cute. Good luck
Right.
with that. It was not, it was seen as, fluff and that sort of thing. People didn't really take it seriously,
Just for
but
show.
things started to change in the marketplace.
Hmm.
People wanted to work for businesses that did good. People
Right.
wanted to do business with businesses that were doing good. So all of a sudden there was this movement that was happening. And then, of course, the B Corp movement that happened around the same time. It has taken a while
Hmm.
for more people and more businesses to really take it seriously and see it
Right.
as a critical way to run your business.
Mm.
So I was a kind of a little kind of ahead of the curve, but I knew instinctually this was something I definitely wanted to be involved in with,
Right.
and felt it was really important. And I kind of knew that at some point this was really going to make a difference.
Hmm.
I used to get frustrated when I would see businesses that, um, that would greenwash and, just
Yeah.
they would pretend. And,
Hmm.
one side they were like publicly saying, oh, look how fabulous we are. But on
Right.
the other side, they were like doing really bad things.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I also felt it was really important, especially for businesses, that the more you invest in being a responsible business, the more it benefits your business,
Right.
And so you might make an investment in one area, but it's really going to pay off in many different areas.
Hmm.
One example, when I was at American Express, I had about 100 employees, and I would get them involved in volunteer activities and so on and so forth. But I noticed that, yeah, it was great PR for the company, but what it did for my employees and how they changed, how they grew, the relationships that they connect, that they made, and I was able to encourage employees to be involved in whether we were doing a fundraising event or whatever, that they were able to learn new leadership skills that were different from their job. So there was just I saw all these benefits that were more about just PR, So I felt like, okay, I wanted to share that with the world, help other businesses and organizations, do that.
Absolutely.
So, and then since then, I mean, I do help businesses with corporate responsibility. I do help businesses actually seek out and earn B Corp certification. But what I've done with my other services around strategic planning and meeting and retreat facilitation is I've integrated those principles into the work that I do.
Right.
So I make sure that there's discussions, especially when an organization is focusing on strategic planning. I really challenge them to really think about the workplace that you're creating, the investments that you're making in your employees. Let's take a look at your operations and can you be more environmentally, responsible, and so on and so forth. So I was able to kind of integrate that into a lot of the work that I do around, like I said, strategic planning. Now, when it comes with any meetings that I facilitate for clients, often we offset the emissions for the. We try to do it in a lower impact on the environment.
Right.
But whatever we can't reduce, I would offset the emissions for their meetings to kind of help inspire them to.
Sure. I mean, that sets the tone as well.
Yeah. So I fold a lot of it into the work that I do. So versus having it be separate, like, oh, we're just going to hire this company to help us be socially responsible. It's like, well, no, let's just look at what you're currently doing, and hopefully I'm inspiring them to be more responsible.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a little walk here. So as we go here, my next question is about the size of your company and about how the B Corp certification has kind of affected your views on hiring, your views on staffing, and kind of what either benefits or challenges might be associated with that in relation to the B Corp certification.
Well, first, I'm a small consulting business, so I don't have a lot of employees. In fact, I don't have employees now. I do have some that I bring back when I need them on certain projects. So as far as hiring, I really look at the vendors that I do business with and the contractors or subcontractors that I hire. I make sure that they are aligned with my B Corp values and my company values.
Right.
So if I'm doing business with a client and they are hiring me knowing this is what they get, whoever works with me, whether it's like I said, as a contractor or a subcontractor, they should have confidence that those that I bring on are going to be aligned with what's important to my business.
Right.
So I do screen some of the like the vendors, the businesses that I do business with, to make sure that I try to actually work with B Corps if I can. But if they're not B Corps, I just, like I said, I try to hire people that are local.
Right.
Prefer, minority and women-owned businesses.
Right.
Those sorts of things. So, but I've had a lot of experience hiring people, especially when I was working at American Express. So I kind of know what to look for when I'm hiring people.
Sure.
So.
And how do you think that, especially within, the structure of like working with contract-based employees and things like that, how do you think that it makes your business more attractive to people who are looking for contracts, things like that?
Yes. I get a lot of traffic to my careers page, and I don't have any positions open. So that tells me a lot that people are actually searching. And and I have had people email me and saying, hey, I noticed you're a B Corp. I know you're not hiring, but, can I send you my resume? And that sort of thing. Because they want to work for a company that they want to work for a B Corp or a company that operates like a B Corp.
Right.
So I feel like when I do have opportunities to hire, I have a little bit of a leg up because the certification helps me in that way.
Sure.
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So now a question more in relation, we talked a little bit about your mission. We talked a little bit about like why B Corp certification is, helpful for companies, helpful for employees, and about hiring a little bit. I also want to ask about the B Corp movement in San Diego right now.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about like why, kind of the consumerism shifting to a more conscious model has affected the success of B Corps, both globally and in San Diego. But how do you see the B Corp movement in San Diego growing? Do you think that it's going to continue on the same path as it has, again, as kind of one of the leaders as a region in the world? And what do you think might influence this change positively or negatively?
Well, we are growing, not as fast as we'd like.
Sure.
B Lab, the certifying organization, doesn't have this massive like sales team that's out there recruiting B Corps. They rely on a lot on us.
Yeah.
So we have a group. It's called B Local San Diego, and a lot of the major cities around the world have B Local groups where B Corps get together, B Corp leaders get together, and we focus on doing outreach and different events and offering different events, and we do speaking and try to get the word out. So in San Diego, over the past 2 years, we finally have a board and a very active team on the B Local board that's been really doing a good job at sort of getting the word out. I mean, our relationship with USD that we're starting to develop, because USD has been a huge supporter of the B Corp community, as you know.
Yep.
We appreciate that. So I see us growing, but the challenge that we have is we all running our own businesses.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to, spend a lot of time recruiting. And of course, the pandemic presented some challenges because there weren't any public events and things like that.
Yeah.
And where we try to get the word out is when we go out and speak at different business groups, and we spoke a couple times here, and we had that event recently with a bunch of students, which is good. So yeah, it's just a matter of like continuing to get the word out. Now, one thing about San Diego, as you probably know, is mostly small businesses. So we have a tremendous opportunity here. It's just, like I said, getting the word out about what the movement is about, what does it mean to be certified, what are the benefits of certification, and so on and so forth. So getting that word out, and then just, inviting businesses, to speak to us and, learn more about it.
Yeah.
We're happy to direct people through the, through the process.
So.
So it's really just more visibility. It's just
awareness.
Getting the awareness out there, and we have some different partnerships. We've spoken at a couple of small conferences that we have here in San Diego. So
that makes sense. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, how should companies be receiving communications about B Corp certification, and who should they go to for materials about trying to become a B Corporation and about learning about that certification process?
Okay. Well, there are 3 resources. One, I'll talk about B Local San Diego, which is really led by all the B Corps here in San Diego. So if they want to connect with other B Corps in San Diego, and again, learn about the certification and so on and so forth, they can go to blocalsandiego.org. There's some resources there, but B Lab, you can go to bcorporation.net, which is sort of the main website where you can learn about the certification process, how much it costs, all of that. Plus, you can learn about other B Corps around the world.
Okay.
So they have a directory there. They also have a job board, and there's a ton of resources on that website. And then for businesses that want to go through the process, or they want to learn more about what the certification is, they can go to bimpactassessment.net. And that is the assessment tool that we all have to complete to become certified. But what's really important to know is that that assessment is available to any business. You don't have to become a certified B Corporation in order to go through the assessment. So we encourage businesses to start there, go through the assessment, take a look at how your business stacks up against others, and you'll learn a lot in the process. So start with with the assessment tool. And again, you don't have to become a certified B Corp in order to use it. It's a free resource that's available to any business around the world.
Yeah. Perfect. So, there you go. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
So my last question for you, and you can take a seat. So I want to ask about, we've talked a lot about kind of the advantages of being a B Corp, both for hiring, for your own business practices, for clients. what would you say, in your experience now, has been the greatest challenge of maintaining that B Corp certification?
For me, I'm going to be honest with you, there's been no challenge. I mean, I've been, especially for my type of business, I'm a consulting business. So the standards weren't difficult for me to earn enough points. Now, since I first certified in 2008 to where we are today, my score was much higher and it keeps
Sure.
going down.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because I'm doing less.
Right.
It's because the standards keep raising.
Exactly.
So this, the last time that I certified, I was like, okay, I hope I make it, because that would
Yeah.
be embarrassing if I was one of the first to get booted out. I made it, but
Right.
now if I manufactured products, it's more of a challenge.
Sure.
And you have products that you're creating and selling, or if you have a large number of employees and so on and so forth,
Right.
it can be a little bit of a challenge, but it's supposed to be a challenge. It's supposed to be
Right.
difficult
Mm-hmm.
because the community needs to rely on, if a business has earned this certification, it should say a lot. So people should be able to trust that this is a company that is really doing, they're meeting the very high standards around social and environmental performance and transparency and accountability.
Right.
So, yeah, I think the other thing is, and it's not necessarily to do with the certification. I'm also a benefit corporation,
Right.
which is the legal designation I converted,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many years ago, is doing the social impact report. So there's a part of me sometimes is like, okay, well, I don't really have much to share, especially during COVID.
Right.
I didn't really have much because it was kind of a challenging time.
Sure.
But putting together a really good social impact report that's meaningful, I think that's a little bit of it. For me, it's a little bit of a challenge. You want to make sure that I'm being transparent, obviously, but am I sharing anything of value to people?
Right.
That's
Right.
the only thing. It's like, I want to make sure that what I'm putting out there as far as my social impact report, that it's actually, it's saying what it needs to say, but it might be, hopefully inspiring businesses to kind of think about, oh, wait a minute, these are some of the things that we could be doing as well.
Sure.
If it's a similar, type of business as mine. So it's just producing that report and getting it out there.
Yeah.
Now, if a client hired me to do it for them, easy. But for
Right.
doing it for yourself can be a little bit of a challenge.
A little bit challenging. Yeah, that makes sense.
But honestly, that's really it. I mean, I have not. There are no standards that I find very difficult to uphold or maintain. None at all.
Yeah. Well, and that speaks to the success of the certification process too. If it can be hard and not challenging to the point where it's it's affecting your business model or changing the way that you have to operate, then that's
The other thing, it's interesting, there's obviously benefits to my business being certified, where I know that I've won business because where I was up, neck and neck with another business, and I won it because I was a certified B corporation. That makes me feel good.
Right.
But so there's benefits to my business, but for me as a business owner on my own, I'm plugging into this global network of people that are amazing.
Right.
B Lab has actually they call it Champions Retreat for all B Corp businesses. I think it's every 2 years now, and you go to this conference and you're plugged in with all these amazing people. So I can learn a lot from being part of this. It's a global community.
Right.
And for example, if I'm struggling with an issue around maybe marketing or technology or whatever, I know someone within the B Corp community that I could contact.
Right.
They'll pick up the phone, they'll answer the phone, and they will be more than willing to help you. And I am more than willing to help them as well. So it's kind of like being part of this some very supportive network that if I was not certified and on my own, I wouldn't have that.
Right.
Yeah. So to me, that to me is one of the biggest benefits. The relationships I have cultivated within the B Corp community for the past, I think I've had how many years I've been certified? Well, since 2008. It's just been absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And plus, I get ideas from them as well. So I look at how do I maybe adapt some of my services from being part of this community.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have a community of such a diversity of industries and types of businesses and things like that.
Yeah. And like I said, and also the resources and information that they share with all of us.
Right.
B Lab is very generous in sharing ideas and convening different groups to tackle different challenges and stuff like that.
Right.
It's been great.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
onwards and upwards
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
movement, and for Vianova as well. So,
Yeah, yeah, we definitely want more. We have about 25, I would say, 25 B Corps in San Diego,
mhm.
and we definitely need a lot more
Yeah,
because the opportunities there. We'd love
sure,
to see more.
sure.
So,
Yeah. Well, biggest concentration though, in California, and that's only up from here.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but Frank, thank you so much for your
Thank you so
time.
much. I really
I appreciate
appreciate this, and
Of
we
course.
absolutely we appreciate your support. Your support and USD support of our local community here in San Diego. It does mean a lot to us.
Absolutely.
Really, yeah,
Well,
really
it's something that we believe in,
it.
and it's definitely the wave of the future. So we want to continue to be a partner, be a supporter, be a helping hand, however we can do that. And I think, like you said, raising awareness is a big part
It's
of
a
that.
big one.
So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why we're doing this.
All right, great.
Cool. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Take care.